I remember when it all began. The desert, you see. It was more than just sand and stone. It was where my journey started. A place of hidden life and unexpected beauty. There I was, young John, standing atop a hill as the sun rose. My silhouette merged with a gnarled tree, its branches seeming to grow from my head. And then the most curious thing happened. An old hermit appeared, floating just above the shimmering sand. His words danced in the air like fireflies.
The voice in the wilderness shall prepare the way.
Those words settled into my heart like seeds. And oh, how they grew. My life transformed. A simple garment of camel's hair appeared on my body, while locusts and wild honey materialized in my hands. The practice of my words was patient listeners, every one of them. But it was by the oasis that everything changed. The water came alive with swirling light. A dove, brighter than the sun itself, descended upon me. Its voice was like nothing I'd ever heard before.
John, prepare the way of the Lord. Make his paths straight.
In that moment, the desert bloomed. Flowers of every color burst from the sand, as if all of creation rejoiced. Later, I met a lost traveler. As I shared my meager food, something magical happened. His tattered clothes mended before my eyes. It was then I understood every act of kindness prepares the way. And so my journey truly began, not with a shout, but with a simple meal shared in the wilderness. The path ahead was long, but I was ready. Well, I suppose it was time. The Jordan River called to me, you see. As I approached, the very air seemed to shimmer with anticipation. I stepped into the cool waters, and oh, what a sight! Ripples spread in impossible patterns, as if the river itself recognized me. For a moment, just a moment, mind you, the river parted. As I preached my words, well, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I'll tell you anyway. My words appeared in the air, shimmering like starlight. People gasped, their eyes wide with wonder.
Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
The message was simple, really. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Each word hung in the air like a promise. When they stepped into the river to be baptized, they emerged different. A soft glow surrounded them, as if their very souls had been polished. But not everyone was pleased, oh no. The religious leaders, they came too. Their shadows stretched long and dark, like fingers reaching to snuff out a candle. They questioned me, their words sharp and cold. By what authority do you do these things? They demanded. The very rocks seemed to shrink from their anger. I stood firm, though. The truth? You see, it has a power all its own. It shielded me like armor, glowing softly against their shadows. And then he came. Jesus. As ordinary as any man, yet somehow more. The air around him seemed to sing. When he emerged from the water, the sky, it opened up. A dove of pure light descended, and the river, oh, the river turned to liquid gold. Every plant, every creature bowed. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. In that moment, I knew. My task was complete, and his was just beginning. Well, you see, the truth has a way of making powerful enemies, and I had spoken the truth to King Herod.
It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife.
Ah, but Herod, his eyes glowed red with anger. His men, they watched me from afar, their forms shifting like mirages in the heat. The colors, they seemed to drain from the world. The vibrant desert I knew became a place of muted tones and lurking dangers. When they came for me, it was like the desert itself tried to protect me. The sand reached for my feet, trying to hold me back. Even the wind whispered, "Stay, stay." But it was no use. They threw me into a dungeon, a place that seemed alive. The walls, they moved, you see. Closing in, suffocating. Shadows took on menacing forms, dancing in the corners of my vision. I began to doubt. Was this truly the path I was meant to walk? Had I misunderstood my calling? The weight of uncertainty pressed down on me heavier than any chain. But then, a small beam of light. It grew. It grew. A small beam of light. It grew, taking shape. A dove, just like before, but smaller, more intimate. Its wings brushed against my cheeks, soft as a whisper.
Remember, John, he must increase, but you must decrease.
The light spread, transforming my cell. The walls became transparent, showing me the world again. But different this time. I saw lives changed, hope rekindled. Each act of kindness, each baptism sent ripples across the fabric of creation, and I understood my task. It wasn't just about me. It was about preparing the way for something far greater. The path I had walked, every step had meaning. In that moment, confined yet free, I found peace. My journey wasn't over. It was simply changing course. And though the road ahead was dark, I knew now. I knew it led to light. The light. Well, you see, even in that dark cell, I could feel it. The ripples of change spreading across the land, like waves in a pond after a stone's throw. It was as if I could see through the very walls. People coming to the Jordan, their faces etched with hope and longing, their footsteps leaving glowing imprints in the sand. As they stepped into the water, it was beautiful. Their sins, visible as dark clouds, dissolved away in the current, leaving the water shimmering with starlight. And their shadows, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I'll tell you anyway. Their shadows changed shape, growing brighter, as if lit from within, dancing with newfound joy. My words, they traveled far beyond the riverbanks, like seeds carried on the wind, taking root in the most unexpected places, sprouting into trees with leaves of gold and silver. I saw lives transform. The greedy became generous, the angry found peace. It was angry found peace. It was more than I could have ever hoped for. The very air seemed to hum with possibility. And then I saw him. Jesus. He stood on a distant hill, surrounded by a soft light that made the clouds above him bow in reverence. People were drawn to him, like moths to a flame. As they approached, their feet barely touched the ground, as if they were walking on air. The path between us? Oh, path between us. Oh, king on air. The path between us. Oh, you should have seen it. It shimmered like a river of starlight connecting my mission to his, pulsing with divine energy. I understood then, you see. My role was coming to an end, but something far greater was just beginning. The very stones seemed to whisper it. The weight I had carried, it lifted. I felt peace wash over me, cool and refreshing as the Jordan itself, wrapping around me like a comforting blanket. My journey, it wasn't over. No, not really. It was changing, becoming part of a greater story. The walls of my cell seemed to fade away, revealing the vast tapestry of God's plan. And as I sat there, I smiled. For I knew, even in the darkness, that the light would always find a way, just as it had found me all those years ago in the wilderness. And so my tale comes full circle. From a voice in the wilderness to a whisper in a cell, always pointing the way to a whisper in a cell, always pointing the way to something greater than myself. That, you see, was my true calling all along.